Smoke.
Yeah, it was.
Family man.
What's up?
Good dude.
That shit on every song, man.
I wasn't expecting to start, but
Burgers on the grill, you know.
That's just the way that I'm rocking. That's just the way that I'm rocking. I lost it all and I got that shit back because that's just the way that I'm rocking. I know they waiting to stop me. Fuck 'em, I know that they watching.
yeah,
Just as you shot while you clocking. Or put that shit back in your pocket. On the thing, ice on the ring. Dressing a big bitch, I look like a king. I know that's your wifey and we had a fling. But not for nothing, she still do her thing. Run up them rest, yeah, you know I'm committed. I was so broke, I could never forget it. I lost some friends, I could never forgive them. Stuffing a rock with some fruit that's forbidden. Big turkey bad, no Thanksgiving. That's just the way that I'm living. She said, big dog, why you tripping? Niggas funny.
So where you from, man?
Portsmouth.
Deep Creek.
Yeah, Portsmouth and Deep Creek for sure. Chesapeake General, born.
How was it growing up there, man?
Well, it's the tale of two tales, tale of two cities. I had my life in Deep Creek. That was one thing for sure, and then my life in Portsmouth. That was a whole nother thing for certain.
Which one was better?
Well, life in Deep Creek, there was more money. I ate. I had clothes that were nice.
Right.
You know, so there was that. I had a decent place to live that was clean. You know what I mean?
How was family?
Absent, basically. Like I might as well. I grew up in a place that like I was an absent afterthought for sure. Unless I was an issue. If I was an issue, a problem, then I became the main focal point of everyone's attention. Yeah, thinking back on that, like it's kind of weird how like I was irrelevant unless I was a problem, and then everyone took. Kind of seems like now they took their shit out on me. Whenever I fuck up, they gave them an opportunity to. Yeah, but anyways, in Portsmouth, I lived with my dad, and it was in his early years of his career, and after his separation from his wife, he was poor for years, and in Deep Creek, I lived with my grandparents, and everything was bountiful, but they were old, and so therefore, like, just I could get away with murder. Like, if it didn't happen right in front of their face, then they kind of, didn't know it happened, and they were old enough to lie and trick too, which led to me with little guidance and whatever you would call it. I ended up getting pretty wild. Getting out there on them streets.
At what age would you say you jumped in the streets?
I'd say I jumped off the porch probably 13 for real. Like 12, 13. I started realizing that like the life that my family like lived and tried to portray, it was not like the real world, and there was like a whole other world out there of people that seemed to be more like me, that were like struggling and getting it from the mud, and yeah, and I immediately felt more home there than I did at home, so I quickly gravitated towards the streets, and the streets embraced me. I felt.
What came out of that though?
Well, at this point, currently, I've given the state of Virginia 9.5 years of my life in installment plans. The last bid was 6 years. Actually, no, the last bid was 2 months and some change. It's funny I skip small bids like that because of the amount of time I've done, but 2 months was the last bid I did on a technical violation for not paying fines and absconding to New Orleans.
So you did 6 years?
6 straight. 5 years, 11 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days.
Where you did that at?
Greensville and Augusta mostly. Started off at Deerfield Work Center after Nottoway receiving. Started off at Deerfield Work Center, and
Buckshot.
that's me. That's me. concealed. That was this last one though, right?
No, this was from when you were younger.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at 26, I got locked up for 6 years. And, Nottoway Deerfield Work Center. That didn't last long. I'm not built for a work center for multiple reasons. But from the work center, I went straight to a level 3, Greensville. That actually was my first time on a major spread. I had never been to a major. I've been to work centers and shit before. And receiving, but never a major until I made it to Greensville this time.
What was the worst thing you've seen?
The most, I think when I think that for some reason, I don't know why this affected me so bad, but stomach turning thing that I think of was actually before I ever even made it to prison. I was still in Virginia Beach City Jail, and there was a young black kid who was running a phone. He was cool, fair about it and everything, and everybody respected him. But this white dude that I'm pretty sure like had some mental health issues, but was by no means just incognitive or psycho or anything, or just got on the phone and shit. And bro went to be like, give me the phone, and dude was like, no, and then swung at the young black kid, and he swatted his hand away 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean? Just trying not to get hit, because he wasn't really trying to fight. He's just trying to run the phone like it's supposed to be ran. He's skipping people, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the dude ended up connecting with one of the punches and busted his lip. And dude's immediate reaction was to duck under the next one. Scoops our Russ straight to the fucking upper room, turned him upside down and power drived him. Boom, straight on his face. Mm-hmm. And the sound of that, it was like on concrete, and like it was like dropping a watermelon on the ground, like a pop, and then just like a thud. It was like a pop, thud, wait, pop, boom. It was crazy. I can't describe it at all, but it was a stomach turning sound, and you knew before he stood up that like shit in his face was broken. And sure enough, dude, when he stood up, like the side of his face was like kind of flat, like the ground, and his skin, having no bone structure behind it, had like raisined. It looked like a raisin, you know what I mean? Because it like just went flat and there was like nothing behind it. And I just remember looking at him in the eyes, and one eye was looking forward and the other one was cross-eyed, and like just his face was smashed in. And yeah, that one turned my stomach. For sure. And I don't know why. There wasn't even no blood or anything, but for the sound of it and the look on his face, and just how quick and it happened, and how unnecessary, and just the whole, I don't know, man.
It's unforgettable.
Yeah, it hit me. That one.
You ever been in a riot?
Yes. I had 2, actually. One bigger than the other, but I think anybody would consider the second one a riot as well.
Facts.
For sure. You know what I mean? Especially anybody looking from the outside in, they're gonna say that second one was also a riot. But the first one was classified as a riot, enough so that my set and the people that I was rolling with, they broke us up from that compound as much as they could, distributed us around other various Virginia state penitentiaries, and classified us as an official security threat group, all from one of them. During that riot, I ended up getting shot in the ribs.
When you say a set,
Twice.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about, my gang. I don't know. I don't know.
You ain't gotta elaborate too much.
Yeah, I just don't know if I should, if I'm allowed. I gotta kind of ask, I guess, to be honest. You know what I mean?
We can skip past that. We can skip past that.
Yeah,
But
especially
basically,
because if I'm gonna actually talk about any past criminal activity,
Of course,
which I
of course,
kind
of
of
course.
want to, I kind of want to be able to be
yeah.
honest. So I think not mentioning them exactly by name might be for best. You know
That's
what I
best.
mean?
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
I think a lot of people will be able to imply or know. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, I'm gonna not mention by exact name.
I respect that.
Yeah. But yeah.
So what jumped off the ride?
Oh yeah. Actually, something as simple as the phone again, a spot in line on the phone. We kind of shared the phone with Folk Nation, the Crips and the Gangster Disciples and us. Mostly just because of the numbers. There wasn't as many of them and not as many as of us, so that we were able to share a phone and everybody got, you know what I mean, on the phone.
Right.
Everybody was able to make a phone call, maybe sometimes 2 phone calls a day.
Right.
This is at Greensville where there's 4 phones for 86 inmates per pod. Okay, and you get in line for the phone at 9, you might get on the phone by 1 o'clock if you're lucky. And if you're not affiliated in any way, or if you're not like seriously respected in any way, chances are you're not getting on the phone unless you pay to get on the phone.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And then once you pay once to get on the phone, you're paying to get on the phone every time.
Facts.
You're hit. So I always well, for one, I'm not gonna pay to get on the phone anyways. But even before, when I was a youngster, I fucking refused to pay to get on the phone. It just didn't make sense to me. Yeah. Even before, like, I knew jail protocol and, like, the way the system worked. Like, first day in, like, you can get on the phone whenever you want as long as you pay me $4 a week. I kind of just laughed it off. Like, fuck, I'm not paying you to use the jail's free phone. You know what I mean? I didn't even know, like, what was going on. But, yeah, I kind of, even at fucking 18, laughed that bullshit off. But it's a real deal, and if you don't respect it, you're gonna get smashed. Usually, an older guy guides you through it so you don't get smashed day one. You know what I mean? Somebody's gonna tell you what's up, but I have seen it. Just complete idiots, or people that just refuse to like accept that they're not in their world anymore. They're not at their house anymore. They're like, you know what I mean? You're in our house now. You know what I mean? We've been living here. We're not bidding here. We're not doing a little time here. We live here. This has been my address for years now. So, you know, I've lived in the same cell for 3.5 years. You're not coming in here and saying, you know what I mean, anything crazy.
What was the worst fight you've seen?
Chow Hall, Greensville. And it was ridiculously quick. It was probably 8 or 9 of the fastest, cleanest, meanest, hardest flurry of just punches you've ever seen. And he connected with everyone. But I'm pretty sure dude was like knocked out clean by the 3rd one. But the way that he was like kind of throwing uppercuts and crosses, it was like keeping him on his feet. And everyone, because dude's jaw was slack, sounded off with that just classic slack jaw knockout sound, that pop, pop, pop. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and but for one, the damage that dude did to his face immediately leaking because they were just clean, open, unguarded. All he could put into him punches. Dude's knuckles were sharp. But I think he split him open with every single one of them punches, dude. Because before dude hit the ground, his whole face was bloody. And then, like, he hits the ground and splits the back of his head open. And there was just blood everywhere. From his cuts, his nose, his mouth, his ears, the back of his head. That was a really bloody fight. You know what I mean? So, like, that one's one that kind of sticks with me. He didn't necessarily get beat the worst, but it was just so bloody that it visually sticks with me.
So bloody.
Yeah, dude, it was just...
How many fights did you get in?
More than 10, less than 15 total in prison.
Okay.
Yeah, I got out in... I'd say a lot of them were in jail, really. Jail's kind of a crazy place, man, because you got a lot of younger dudes that... You know, you ain't telling them shit, and they come in with their gang affiliations and shit, and they got a homeboy or two with them, and you can't tell them shit, and then, you know, you got another dude or two that are angry, they're fighting their case tooth and nail, and they ain't nobody to fuck with, and then they bump heads, and then that's kind of where you see a lot of the wildest shit is in jail, man, because it's just a breeding ground for chaos. But in prison, fights and stuff are way more political, way more thought out and planned.
Right.
They're rarely just sporadic things. It's a thing that usually the main 2 or 3 guys that's in the pod are going to know about hours before it ever even happens. On average, there's your exceptions here and there, but usually things are kind of sanctioned in a way. You know what I mean? Like, if I want to beat up Tom because he talks some shit to me, I'm well within my right. No one's going to stop me, and no, I'm not going to be in trouble for doing it. But if it's anybody of any importance or any ranking in those channels, you better go down, or there's going to be consequences.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't just go punching anybody in the face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to happen. Even if you got a legit reason. But if you have a legit reason and that person is somebody, usually if he's a man, he'll fight the one with you, and his people will let you shoot the one. But you have to go about it in the appropriate way, for sure.
Facts.
Yeah.
So you did time in solitary confinement.
Yeah, all total, I did like a 5.5 month stretch.
Yeah, we did that already, but
Mars.
you know, we need some more. I'ma go get me some more. I'ma go get me some more. I run that shit up, I did it before. I had to refocus, I switched up the flow. Now I'ma go get me some more. I'ma go get me some more. Do it again, I done it before. I'm fucking her fast, I'm fucking her slow. Now she wanna give me some more.